So some of the implementations of the cloud, as you can see, there's software as a service, which is pay if you need some software such as back office software, you can just do that. If you need platform as a service, where you may want to customize some of the service offerings, perhaps platform as a service is a web service. Or you can customize the look and feel of how you interface with your customer. That would be a platform as a service. And then infrastructure as a service is basically your processing and your hardware and data storage. For example, some of us use Dropbox, which is infrastructure as a service. It's simply a data storage provider from the cloud. We've mentioned before about the public cloud, which is companies that are providing their services to any organization. And you see here a few of them: Amazon, Windows Azure, Rackspace, Google, and we mentioned Dropboxes as one of the infrastructure as a service. Then the private cloud is an organization that provides this ubiquitous type of computing for their organization, and they maintain it themselves. It loses some of the benefits in terms of being scalable, in terms of pay-as-you-go, metered model, all those things we mentioned as benefits of the cloud when it's a private cloud, because it just means organizations setting it up for themselves, and they still have to pay for it, and they're recouping their own costs. Now let's talk about metrics real quick. So when you put these infrastructures in place, it's a good idea to have some idea as to their effectiveness. And we use metrics for that. So we set these things up called metrics, sometimes call them benchmarks. Actually, they are two different things. Metrics are the measurements that we use to determine success, and then the benchmarks are the marks, either an industry standard benchmark. It's a baseline for what our metrics need to read to be considered successful. When we do something called benchmarking, what we're doing is we're comparing our systems against other benchmarks, maybe organizational, industry-level benchmarks. Organizations that have similar goals and size to us maybe have set some benchmarks, and they publish those, and we can compare ourselves to them. Some of the things that we want to be able to measure through these metrics are efficiency and effectiveness. These are two varying things, and efficiency is the degree to which we are doing something using our resources. So are we spending too much time? Are we keeping our costs low? If you're highly efficient, you're doing something right with the fewest resources available. Effectiveness is all about how well you're doing it. Are we achieving the goals that we set up? For example, are we getting customers to buy when they visit our site? Are we answering the right questions with the right answers the first time? So they're different things, and we need different measurements for them. Some of the things we will see in terms of IT success metrics is we'll have metrics for our infrastructure, we'll have metrics for our web interfacing, and if we have a call center, we can even have call center metrics. Our infrastructure metrics that we typically use are things such as throughput. So how much information can we put through a system in a given amount of time? Again, that's an efficiency type of metric. Transaction speed is the speed at which the system can process a transaction. Again, efficiency. System availability. How much uptime or downtime do we have? Want to measure it either way. Time. Accuracy is measured inversely as the error rate. So response time, the time it takes us to respond to a user-generated event such as mouse click. Systems needed to have a high degree of all of those. And then scalability. What's the degree to which our system can be adapted when we have increased demand? In terms of web metrics, a lot of the common ones you see are unique visitors to a site, the total hits to that site, page exposures, conversion rates, which would be the number of customers that visit our site to actually those that buy something. Then we see the click-through percent, the number of people that click through an ad and are taken to another site. Cost per thousand, abandoned registrations, abandoned shopping carts. So there's a whole variety of web-centric metrics that we can use. And Google Analytics provides very free, very useful metrics for us. For any of our sites, if you set those up. Pretty easy to set these up. Now some of the more advanced metrics they don't provide freely, but they do provide to you for a fee. Then, if we have a call center, some of these call center metrics are very similar to web metrics, but they're measuring things like abandon rate, average speed to answer, time service factor, and first call resolution.